Welcome to Jets Game Day with Robert Saleh, presented by Audi. Here's your host, Eric Allen.
Welcome to Jets Game Day. We have a huge game in the AFC East on tap. It is the Jets. It is the Bills. Brian Baldinger, Bart Scott. Baldy, your take here on this matchup.
Well, look, it's a division game. They beat the Bills when they took the ball away 4 times on the opening Monday night game of the season. Like, that's the magic formula right now. Buffalo's turning the ball over too many times, 18 times this year. That's one of the reasons why they've just fired their offensive coordinator, because somebody's got to be the fall guy when the offense isn't humming the way it's supposed to. So, look, there's going to be opportunities to get this ball from Buffalo's offense.
Both teams have to answer questions offensively. Jets' defense is humming. The Bills have endured a ton of injuries on that side of the ball.
Yeah, and when you think about the fact that, guys keep going down, it also weakens the special teams. And this is a team that's reeling right now. The Jets are sputtering and it's going bad, but they're sticking together. It seems like things are falling apart in Buffalo. You want to try and make sure that you magnify that when you play. And let's see if the Jets can do that and create some frustration and some dissension early in the game.
All right, let's go inside the numbers presented by the New York Lottery. Our first number today, Baldy, is 6. Zach Wilson against the Raiders became the 6th quarterback in the National Football League, 250 yards passing, 50 yards rushing in the same game.
Well, I mean, look, the rushing yards is he's just trying to buy time, trying to scramble, trying to rescue a play. So these aren't a lot of design runs, which is what you have to do in this business. And the 250 yards passing, look, everything but getting into the end zone, they've moved the football. They had some explosive plays. Right now it's about finishing in the paint, and that's the next step for Zach.
The defense is going to help this offense finish. They're tied for 7th in the National Football League in takeaways. Jordan Whitehead, 3 interceptions in that first meeting against the Bills. He got back on the board last week in Vegas.
And with everything that's happened in Buffalo, firing the coordinator, the comments from Diggs' brother, they're going to try and get Diggs going early, so there are going to be opportunities to take advantage. And you talk about cold weather. Playing at 4 o'clock. The football gets slippery. There are going to be opportunities. The Jets are going to have to take advantage of those opportunities to put their team and their offense on a short field so that you can put points on the board.
Okay, let's get to our third number. 14. C.J. Mosley, 14 tackles against the Raiders. He's Mr. Consistency. That was his 6th career game with at least 14 tackles.
Well, the thing about CJ is he's such a professional. Anybody would be frustrated right now with some of the things that have happened on the other side of the ball. He doesn't allow that to affect him. He's still getting everybody lined up. He's in the right place. He's still making his tackles right now. And he's giving this team a chance from the defensive side of the ball every time they play.
All right, coming up, we got a special interview with Jet Special Teams Coordinator Brant Boyer. But first, what's brewing? Here's Caroline Hendershot and Ethan Greenberg.
It's time for What's Brewing, presented by Dunkin'. The Jets run on Dunkin'.
Okay, Ethan, Jets are on the road again for Week 11, going upstate New York to take on division rival, the Buffalo Bills.
Quinnen Williams likes to play the Buffalo Bills. He's been pretty good against Buffalo his whole career. But listen to this, Caroline. Last week, he generated 3 pressures on 10 pass rushers when double teamed. Not only that, he leads the league with 15 pressures against double teams this season. I know the sack numbers aren't there compared to last year, but Quinnen is still getting home.
Wow, he can't be stopped. You know who else can't really be stopped this season so far? Tyler Conklin. He's one of 4 tight ends in the NFL with at least 30 catches and 0 drops.
He's been doing a great job, but it's shout-out time.
Okay.
And I want to shout out Joe Tippmann. 2nd career start at center last week against the Raiders. Just a casual 0 pressures allowed on 46 pass block snaps.
Joe Tippmann.
Way to go, Mullet.
Job. We love it. Okay, my shout-out time. Jordan Whitehead, the highest graded safety last week on Pro Football Focus, and got an interception last week. And not to mention, he did pick off Josh Allen 3 times in Week 1. So
3 claps.
3 claps.
And 3 cheers. 1,
Cheers.
2, and 3.
Coming up, Eric Allen with a special sit-down with Jets Special Teams Coordinator Brant Boyer.
Jets Game Day with Robert Saleh is presented by Audi. Visit your tri-state Audi dealer to get behind the wheel of yours today, or visit AudiOffers.com for more information. Game Day with Robert Saleh is brought to you by Moody's, proud partner of the New York Jets.
And getting away, a line drive kick is Sam Martin. Gibson runs under it at the Jet 35. Starts to his left, gets to the 40, turns the corner at the 45-50. Blockers in front at the 40, at the Bills 30, inside the 20. Stutter steps to the 10, to the 5. Touchdown!
We got a special guest today. It is Jets special teams coordinator Brant Boyer. Thank you so much for joining us.
Anytime, buddy. Good to be here.
Jets Bills this weekend. A lot of good memories, I imagine, from week one. Can you take me back to overtime?
Well, it was obviously a big challenge. These guys have a really good group. Buffalo's very physical, and they've got a really good group of core guys and really good specialists, and they're really well coached. So to start off the year like that, was special in that environment. And it's one of the, since I've been here, I think in 8 years, I think that's probably the best environment I've ever seen around here. And to end it that way was special, and just got to continue to try to get that return game going every week.
How pleased are you with your kicking combination of Greg Zuerlein and Thomas Morstead?
They've done a fantastic job. Arguably, two Pro Bowl type of players so far this year, and they've been really consistent. I mean, they're such great guys to come in every day, and they take a leadership role in the room, and can't forget Henny, and snapping the ball to him. That's done such a great job, and really happy with that group of guys. Quality, great men, great leaders, and great teammates.
From a coverage perspective, can Morstead be too good sometimes?
I don't think you can ever be too good. Just my humble opinion. I mean, he's arguably a Hall of Famer. With him, whether it's directionally or whatever, whether it's hang time, whether it's distance control, trying to create, a chance, eliminate those chances for the guys back there to beat us. And certainly the last couple of weeks, he's punted the ball pretty well. We just haven't covered it the way we need to be, and it's not up to our standard and what we need to get accomplished.
How rare is what he accomplished against the Giants when you're talking about 3 balls down inside the 5-yard line?
That was one of the best overall punting performances I've ever seen in my life. I mean,
really?
it was a special performance.
100% injury league. What happens when one of the best coverage guys in the National Football League, like Justin Hardy, goes down?
It's been tough because he's our leader of the room. When you take a player like him and a leader like him away from your room, it has hurt. And it's just a matter of trying to make adjustments, and then the guys that are relied upon to come in and pick up the slack, so to speak, they're doing a solid job. We just got to tackle, and I think we've missed too many tackles in the last several weeks, and we weren't in the spots that we need to work with our core, and we've got to do a better job. Coaches and players are putting our guys in positions to make those plays, and that needs to really improve to give us a chance going down the stretch here.
What's Irv's potential in the National Football League? Because Saleh said when he made this club, special teams wolf.
I think that he has as much natural talent as any player that I've worked with. He really does. He's good in all phases, blocking phases and coverage phases. I think he's got a really bright future.
How valuable has been Jamie and Sherwood for you guys? And defensively, comes up with a big play last week against the Raiders that keeps this team in the game.
He's been outstanding, and a guy that has taken the leadership role when Hardy went down, for the group. A guy that doesn't make many mistakes. He's always on point. He always knows his stuff. And those kind of guys are invaluable to guys like us.
So Sherwood had the force against Josh Jacobs. The guy who recovered that fumble was Ashton Davis. What can you say about his versatility across the board?
Like, he's the quarterback of our punt team, and makes all the calls and does all the stuff that we ask him to do. And to see his progression since he's been here along with Sherwood. Both those guys have bought in 100%. It's a good thing to have, that's for sure.
We started this interview talking about X. He's so special with the ball in his hands. He's a dynamic runner. What is the transition for him in terms of from college to pro, and when saying, hey, I got this opportunity, I can take it out now, or sometimes I got to live to fight another day?
There's a feel back there that all players have, and the special returners in this league, they understand when to take a chance and when not to take a chance. Once you get the ball in his hands, he can take it to the house at any time. Talking to other coaches after the games and everything like that, the way they kick to him is different. He has a healthier respect from all the other coaches that we play, and I think there's no better games than what you're seeing in the last 2 weeks on how they try to control him, kicking it out of bounds and kicking it up 5-0 hang times and stuff like that, so he doesn't get the opportunities to beat him.
How big is this game Sunday? The Jets, Bills, return matchup. And also, can you speak to playing in Buffalo and Western New York, and what potentially could happen with the weather.
Yeah, it's always a tough place to play. Even going back to when I was playing, those fans up there are awesome. They do a really good job, rooting for their team. They're crazy up there. It's a pretty cool environment to play in. We're going to have to be on point this week, and we've got to do more in the return game specifically. And our coverage has got to be on point. We'll try to get them there for sure. It's going to be critical for our special teams to play really well.
Brant, appreciate your time as always.
Anytime.
This exclusive interview was presented by Audi. Visit your Tri-State Audi dealer to get behind the wheel of yours today, or visit AudiOffers.com for more information.
Coming up, Bart Scott and Brian Baldinger will break down the key matchups for this weekend.
Just one. That's all it takes. 160-minute display of unity to get this thing right back on track. So hear me out. If you think this team is just going to roll over, where have you been? Handoff is to Hall. They know exactly what is on the line here. You don't have to think too hard to remember what the defense did the last time these two teams squared off.
In trouble, and down he goes. Intercepted Jordan Whitehead.
So don't even allow the thought to enter your mind that it's not being taken seriously by this group.
There goes Brees. Garrett Wilson. Wow!
Sunday, AFC East battle in Orchard Park. I cannot wait.
This film breakdown is brought to you by your local Kia dealers. Discover what happens when rugged capability meets true performance. Learn more at kia.com. Kia, movement that inspires.
Let's get into illustration right now with Baldy and Bart. Stephon Diggs, he probably didn't get a lot of rest this week, knowing he's going against the Jets cornerbacks. Sauce Gardner was tremendous against the Raiders.
Here he is, man-to-man right here. And on the play, they're going to run a double screen for Davante Adams coming across the formation. Like right here, you're going to get 1 pick and 2 picks. Now, for any corner, that's tough. But watch how Sauce gets underneath it right here and then defends the pass. Like, that's a great play right there. That's man coverage, right, Bart? But now if you look at him in zone coverage right here, here he is at the top right here, all right? And this is basically a quarters look right here on the outside. It's going to be a 3-receiver look right here, all right? Now watch Sauce right here. He's in zone coverage. All right, and he's basically right now reading the quarterback. And he wants to be in that hole right there to take this play away. And when they come right here underneath, he's able to break on the pass right there and defend that in perfect position right here to defend the ball. You can't play that zone any better than what he just did.
Bart, how about the versatility? Because he excels in man coverage and he also excels in zone. And you love the way the Jets are communicating across the board.
Yeah, when you talk about being successful in zone, you're talking about being able to read the entire formation and see the whole picture. When you're man-to-man coverage, you're just concerned with just your man, right? You're aware of the formation and potential hazards. The first play you look at Sauce, he drifts behind him because he understands if he stays high on his upfield shoulder, he's going to get picked off. So he kind of drifts like a NASCAR driver would do. He gets in that jet stream and slingshots himself in front. And a tremendous play and recognition about understanding the concept that teams are trying to do.
Okay, let's get to DJ Reed, because a lot of times he's locking guys up in coverage, but on this play, he's coming at rookie quarterback Aiden O'Connell.
Yeah, and the great thing about him, he's so physical and tough that you can do things like add him into corner blitzes. This is something that the Jets have not shown. When you look at DJ Reed right here, he's coming down, and it looks like it's going to be some type of man-to-man, like he's pressing. He comes up, he used tremendous timing, and he comes off the edge, and he puts his hands up because he expects the ball to come out fast. But then what he does is he gets back down, and he presses the quarterback to make him throw the ball and make a decision. Oddly enough, if you go back and you watch this play again, you look right here, this is something that you typically don't see. You see a guy right here in Quincy Williams that's going to end up taking Davante Adams man-to-man by himself without any safety help. This unconventional, but I'm sure.
Gotta gamble sometimes.
Yeah. Sometimes you got to roll the dice.
Especially
and they were in
Las
Vegas. They rolled
right?
the dice,
You gotta do that.
and it paid off. That was a tremendous play. But because it was a clear out, DJ Reed, because of his physicality, you get in there, you get there amongst the trees. You got to be able to come out there and cut some trees down.
Awesome job in the film room from our 2 big trees. That's Baldy and Bart.
Don't go anywhere. Bart and Baldy will put their coaching hats on and deliver the winning game plans.
Jets Game Day with Robert Saleh is brought to you by MetLife, the official insurance company of the New York Jets. This segment is presented by the official digital transformation partner of the New York Jets, HCL Tech, supercharging progress.
Welcome back to Jets Game Day, Week 11 of the Fantasy Corner. Ethan, Jets are on the road again. This time they're taking on a division opponent in the Buffalo Bills. Who you got for me?
Well, you want to go mild, medium, or spicy?
Spicy.
Okay, well, unfortunately, this isn't too spicy. We're starting with Josh Allen, the quarterback for the Buffalo Bills. But how about this? This is spicy.
Okay.
Josh Allen, his worst passer rating against any opponent is the New York Jets in his career. And listen to this. You think about week 1, 3 interceptions, only 12 fantasy points from Josh Allen. That's the lowest this season. However, he's playing much better at home in Buffalo than on the road. You think about his passer rating, 109.9 in Buffalo. On the road, drops down to 79.3. And here's the thing, he's turned the ball over a lot, the most in the NFL in terms of interceptions. Just something to keep in mind as the Jets take on the Bills in Buffalo, a little bit buyer beware situation.
Definitely buyer beware. All right, let's go to my fantasy pick for the week. We already know who we're talking about. It's Breece Hall. We talk about him all the time because he's that good. He's currently 10th in yards per carry in the NFL. However, the Buffalo defense ranks 19th, middle of the pack, in yards rushing allowed per game. However, they're 29th in yards per rush. And you know, if Breece Hall can get loose, he will run for it, run for that end zone. Also something to note, Breece Hall, week 1, when he was limited with that ACL injury, he had 10 carries, 127 yards, including an 83-yard run, which is still the longest in the NFL this season.
He was incredible that game. Also something to note, Dalvin Cook definitely looks like he's picking up some juice.
And Israel Abanikanda is supposed to see some playing time as well. So the Jets running back room is something to watch this week. We hope that helps you set your lineups, and we will see you for a 425 kick in Buffalo.
Today's game plan is presented by the official digital transformation partner of the New York Jets, HCL Tech, supercharging progress.
Let's get into our game plans right now. Jets, Bills, obviously a big one this week. Brian Baldner, Bart Scott. Baldy, Jets offensively, they gotta finish. The Bills defense, they're trying to patch it together. What do you do if you're coordinator Nathaniel Hackett?
I still think you got to get Breece Hall going. I mean, you got to find 2 or 3 runs that you can perfect against their looks up front. Like, you've got to be able to pound the belly of that defense. When teams have success against Buffalo, they're able to run it at Buffalo.
But do you like the aspect of getting Breece Hall out in the passing game? We saw a little bit of that again against the Raiders.
Anytime you can get the ball to Breece Hall, like in any kind of space, we know that the ability he has to take just a simple screen or a check down and take it to the house. So you've got to give him those opportunities to do it.
Let's go to the other side. The Jets are facing a new offensive coordinator, Joe Brady. The Bills make a early week change at that position, but it doesn't matter who the Jets line up against. They've been excelling all year. Is it going to be any different against Josh Allen this time around?
Well, I think that it's going to be much of the same, but you have to understand the pressure that your opponent is dealing with, right? They have a disgruntled, great receiver. We saw last week that the Raiders had a similar situation. What did they do? First 4 plays were to Devontae Adams. So what you want to do is you want to make sure and lean to that. You want to double him. You want to frustrate him so that, they can have that frustration and start having conversations on the sideline. And if you can get an early turnover, that puts even more pressure on them to kind of play for real and not try and get somebody going.
How difficult is it to sweep a division rival?
Well, it's tough. I mean, the one thing about division rivals is every time you turn on a film during the week in preparation, you're seeing the cut-ups of that team. You're seeing Miami, you're seeing Buffalo, you're seeing New England. They're in every single cut-up. So you get very, very familiar with them. And so teams use that familiarity against them and to find that weakness, whatever it might be in Jets defense, offense, and then you try to exploit that weakness.
Jets Bills, it's a late afternoon start right here on CBS. Enjoy your football weekend.